What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Imperfect Action Show. And on today's episode, we are talking about not being afraid to pivot. And what's so important about not being afraid to pivot is the idea of being flexible. And to be successful, you need to be rigid, but you also need to be flexible. You have to be coachable. You have to be willing to listen and be adaptable to change and information that you may not have access to, that other people have access to. You have to be able to receive and implement that information to get a result. And in some cases, it might come with the idea of that you must take a pivot in a direction that's not in a direction that you thought you were going to be successful in to actually be successful. Bloomer, what up, bro? How you doing, brother? So on today's episode, we're gonna be talking about not being afraid to pivot. And as you guys know, we always start to show off Imperfect Action Show. We drop gems, principles, lessons, strategies to help you get to that next level in your business. And we hope that you get something from these episodes and that you're able to implement them into your business to get a result, and that you let us know if it's successful. And if it's working, just keep doing it. Today's episode is sponsored by the Imperfect Action Con, October 21, 22 in LA. Link will be below. Make sure that you grab your tickets. I'm gonna show you guys real quick. I just got like a little mock-up of the merch. There's the merch right there, looking spicy. You can grab some merch when you grab a ticket for those that are interested. What I'm going to do right now, send a quick link out to our community. Let them know that we are on and popping. Hold on a second. Bam. We are chatting about pivoting. All right. Join the chat. Okay, guys. So what I wanted to share with you guys today is the idea that sometimes you have to pivot to be successful. And not only do you have to pivot to be successful, you have to know when to pivot, right? Because this is something that I've heard plenty of times, and I recently heard it again. Like, even when it comes to like hiring, right? You want to hire slow and fire fast. So you want to pivot off that last firing as quick as possible to get a new employee or to get a new assistant or to get a new partner or whatever the case may be, so you can be more successful. Because the longer that you drag around that dead weight or that weight or that energy that's being counterintuitive to the direction which you're trying to go, the energy that you're trying to put out, it's gonna delay your success. It's gonna delay your expectation to succeed or get the result that you want. Chandra, what's goody? And that's what's gonna happen if you are not pivoting. So let me give you a real example. This is a real live example. So I used to have a clothing company, and I had a clothing company for basically 10 years. And I would say the last 2 to 3 years, let's just call it 3, I had a super strong inclination that I should be pivoting. Super strong inclination. But what happened was I was afraid. So I stayed in it. So I wasted another 1,000+ days. Let's do the math real quick. 365 times 3. Yeah, I wasted basically 1,100 days, 1,095 to be exact, staying in a position, staying in a business that I knew wasn't going to end up how I wanted it to end. And that's what happened. 3 years later, we ended up breaking up. We had a what do you call it? An empath. Empath? Not empath. We had a what's the word? What's the word? We had a stall. I don't know. We had a stall. We couldn't move forward. We weren't getting along. We weren't busting any moves. We weren't agreeing. We weren't even agreeing on disagreeing. It just wasn't working. So as a result, we had to abandon ship. Now this is the thing. So that cost me more money. That cost me more relationships. It cost me I like was not prepared to transition. I mean, at the end, I did like a Hail Mary and I switched up like really quick in terms of like what I was gonna do next. But I wasn't really prepared for that. So it cost me money, it cost me time, it cost me relationships, it cost me some anxiety and some stress, probably. Like I wasn't recording it as like high level of stresses and anxiety, but definitely was some stress and some anxiety there for sure. Um, when if I would have just been flexible, if I would have been listening, if I would have been paying attention, if I would have been more in tune and not so rigid on thinking success was one way, and I think that cripples people a lot because they really feel like success is one way. It's the way that I want it to be, or it's the way that I presume that is going to be. It is not that, and as a result, you stay in it, forcing it to be something that it's not. It's kind of like you ever watch little kids and they're playing with like blocks and they take the square, try to put it in a circle. They take the triangle, try and put it in the square, and it just don't fit. Same thing, y'all. I was holding on for too long. I was trying to make something work that was been start working, and I was afraid to transition because I was just so used to what came along with the position in which the business that I owned and that I had. And I think that can be crippling for a lot of people. And as a result, it takes us longer to pivot, or we actually don't even pivot. So what you need to do is this. You need to be always investing in yourself. You need to be always learning. You need to be always listening. You need to be always in a program. You need to be always paying attention to people that are in your industry. Keep healthy relationships, right? And always be thinking about, okay, what do I want in the next 3 to 5? What do I want in the next 5 to 10? And if there's a situation that doesn't serve you, this is even on a personal side, I would not stay in it longer than I need to. I would fully transition out of anything. I would pivot out of anything that's not serving me as fast as possible. Like I would get into it slow, do my due diligence, do my assessments, making sure I'm good, and let you guys can drop something in the chat below if this resonates. But once it doesn't feel good anymore, once it doesn't fit anymore, once I'm no longer getting the results that I want, once it seems like it's working against me, not with me, that's when you pivot off that thing. That's when you abandon ship. That's when you walk out. That's when you make your transition. That's when you double down in certain areas, right? That's when you're making sure that you're really set up for success. And pivoting by being ready to pounce, right? Like that's why I always say with reading, a program, a coach, a podcast, learning, because that's like your practice. And then when a game of life or business throws whatever it's going to throw at you, you have the tools and resources or the knowledge to, dodge something, hop over something, move a little faster, move a little slower, be a little bit more fluid and lucid. That comes with being open to knowledge, open to experiences, seeing what mentors are doing, seeing what veterans in your space are doing, just being flexible to the information, whether inside of your industry or maybe even something that you want to learn. It's extremely important, y'all. Like, it's extremely important. So I wanted to make sure that you guys fully understood this because it's really important. Like, it's super important, right? Shan just says, sometimes I feel like I chose to be a single mom. I was with a man who wanted the relationship very much, but the relationship was no longer serving me in so many ways. Had to open up for more. 100%. And I would not have suggested that you stayed in any situation that you felt like no longer served you for the time that it served you for. So if you know that making that decision and choosing that path in terms of like single motherhood and then getting out of that relationship or not being in that relationship for the reason that best served you, then that's the best decision for you. I mean, I recently did that myself. Not to that extent of, having a child or being in a relationship, but there's been certain friendships that I even fully fell back on, or I did a hard pivot, no longer even engaged with these people, and as a result, like you realize that you fly a little lighter, fly a little higher. You are not consumed with certain information or certain conversations anymore, or at all. Your only worry is on you or focus on the people that actually care about you or want to see you succeed. And that's a huge deal right there. It's like you just open up a whole nother capacity that you could just double down on yourself, or that you can have available for someone new, or that you can reinvest in other people that are currently in your situation and then just love on them or be more available for them in a higher capacity. So that's today's episode, y'all. I'm gonna just keep it very, very short and to the point. I hope this resonated with somebody out there, and I hope that whether it's today, the rest of the week, next month, that you start analyzing your situations from friendships, partnerships, businesses, even certain projects, that you start pivoting away from things that are no longer serving you at all and pivot towards something that is better for you and more aligned. All right. My name is Brendan Boyd. Make sure that you like, comment, subscribe, share this video out with somebody that you feel can make an impact. We have so many amazing things on the horizon, including Imperfect Action Con. I got a brand new offer I'm rolling out, podcast proof. Stay tuned for that. And I'm just so excited to continue to work with people, build, connect, and help people really position themselves to get to that next level. So if you want to join my test community, it's 213-410-4920. Text the word daily, right? Text daily. Put it right here in the chat to 213-410-4920. I'm dropping a brand new podcast on my other podcast today, Marvin Mitchell. Super excited for that episode. Make sure that you guys tune in. I appreciate you, Action Taker family, and I look forward to you guys tapping in. All right, I'll see you on another episode. Actually, tomorrow I will be traveling, so tomorrow's episode may be delayed, but I will make sure I get to y'all. I will be in Florida this weekend. See you guys later. Peace.